So here it is. It's Wednesday. It's not Tuesday. It's Wednesday. I've had a very busy week and a busy morning, and I do have some notes because it's been so long since we chatted that I've pretty much almost forgotten how to do it. And I can't remember what I told you in my last video. Generally, I take, well, no, I don't. I was going to tell you I take notes, so I won't tell you what I already told you in the previous video all over again, bore you half to tears. I don't do that. And I don't listen to myself, so I don't know where let's move on. I haven't been knitting. I have been off knitting again. I think in part because I finished the 2 baby blankets for Carson and went instantly into doing another sock. And I was tired of that after making, I don't know how many socks, probably. I probably have 35 pairs. Yeah, so it was enough, and I just haven't been doing it. Plus, I've had a pain in my shoulder. Well, it's not even my shoulder. It's my arm. It's right there. I don't know what it is. I thought maybe it was the knitting. Okay, that's enough complaining. Although I'm confident that we'll be back to complaining in another minute or two. Anyway, I went to get more baby blanket yarn. And I selected this green. I need to make another one for Kira. I never did make a baby blanket for Kira when she was born a year and a half ago. And I really should do that so she has her own square of baby blanket. Anyway, it's going to be this. I have 2 great big huge balls. And I will do that and get that done. And maybe it'll bring back my knitting mojo. What else? I never did tell you about Scriptus, but before I get to Scriptus, I want to show you, I got a package in the mail. We used to do this, on YouTube. We used to send each other stuff. And because of the price of postage these days, nobody can send stuff anymore. It's a shame. I know this is out of sequence, but I was at the post office on Monday sending 2 gifts, one to Australia and one elsewhere. And the one to Australia, the woman says to me, it's not going to get there for Christmas. And I said, well, it needs to get there for Christmas. And she says, but if you want to have it there for Christmas, it's going to, I don't know what she said, whether it's express or I don't know what, airmail express. How else is it going to get there to Australia other than on an airplane? Is it going to be put on a boat? Anyway, she says it will be, well, she said that it would be $45 to send the thing. And it was 3 babies' books, 3 children's books. So the $45 would be more expensive than the contents. And I said I wouldn't do it. Anyway, I got a package in the mail. And this came from Grace. Oh, dear. No, I can't remember. I can't. Did I write it down? No. That's because I know it. I can't remember her channel name. It's from Grace. I'll put it in the description link. But she sent me this notebook. Look at that. It's all embossed. It smells like leather. It's got little latch. 2 little latches that you open up. Pardon me. And paper that I'm expecting will be fountain pen quality paper. It's very nice. See? And it's a handmade notebook. I'm really happy with it. Thank you so much, Grace. And along with that, she sent cocoa hot chocolate, peppermint, salted caramel, and chocolate truffle. And not the most important, but close. She had been showing some of her knitting, and she showed a stitch counter that interested me because it has a lock on it. And she sent me one. Look at that. This side, no, there's the lock. This little switchy thing here. And it's kind of nice because you could be blithely counting along and then drop it, or accidentally count and not notice. And if you lock it, it won't count. It's very nice. Thank you so much, Grace. I am really, it was really a very nice surprise, and you were very generous, so thank you. Let's talk about Scriptus, the pen show that was in Toronto. I had a great time. It was truly, really wonderful. There were tables and tables and tables of pens and vendors and collectors and vintage pens and ink and paper and all kinds of stuff. Contain things to put pens into, to store them. And I found it a little overwhelming. There was so much, but it was wonderful. And I got 3 pens. Well, I got 2 at the show. This one, this is a Pilot Metropolitan. And you can see it's purple. Isn't it gorgeous? Look at that. Here's the nib. I'm not very good at that. That one, it wasn't very expensive. I got this one, which is kind of, this is very cool. Look at this. Look at this. I can't even, look. Did I show you this already? If I did, please forgive me. This is a Franklin Christoph. Here's the nib. And it's, can you see how tiny it is? Look at the ink in there. The ink in there is Canadian red maple. It was ink created specifically for the Scriptus pen show. Very exciting. And this one is a Edison. It's called a Mina, and it is a second-hand pen I bought from a friend at the show. It has an oblique, broad nib. And it won't really focus, but there you go. I was very excited. This, as you see, has no clip on it. It's kind of cool. And I like the shape of it. It's wider at the both ends than it is. It's, oh, I can't talk anymore. It's wider at both ends than it is in the center, and I like that. How's the time? Oh, 8 minutes. It's time for me to say goodbye. But I do have a couple more things. Talked about Scriptus. Oh, we went to see Everest. I was talking to Judy on Monday and on Tuesday again, and she said that she had seen Everest and suggested that we go, and we saw Everest, the movie, and it was okay, although I thought the characters could have been developed a little bit more. Clearly, the story was about what happened on that particular day on top of Everest, but the characters could have been developed, I thought, a little bit more. Spectacular scenery. It was very nice. Told you about not knitting. I showed you the package from Grace. Then I'm doing another blanket. And part of today, I had to go and see my doctor. My blood pressure is off. And in part, it's off because I asked him to change my medication. I am sick and tired of having dry mouth, and it's affected my teeth and gums for 3 years of being on this stupid pill. And he finally changed it, and it really hasn't worked. For the past month, I've had really high blood pressure. This is my chart for taking my blood pressure and tracking it and whatever. Anyway, I've been averaging 167 over 105, 177 over 93, 182 over 91, etc. So I thought I was going to stroke out and went back to him and said, this pill isn't working. So he's doubled the dose. And I go and see in 2 weeks. I see him again and just monitor that. Anyway, we shall see. I think high blood pressure, for me, not that I would say that this affects everybody in the same way, but for me, it makes me very irritable. And when I'm out and about, as you know, I like it when people play by the rules. When you're in the grocery store, you have to use the aisles as though you're driving, right? So driving, you go down the aisle on the right-hand side. You don't go down the aisle on the left-hand side. I like it when the rules are followed, the basic general rules of life. Never mind road rules. But I think the blood pressure triggers these bursts of anger and frustration that I feel whenever I'm out. At least that's what I'm going to blame. Can't be my personality because I'm so easygoing and charming. That's it, that's all. Where's the button? I never can find the right button. It annoys the hell out of me. That's it, that's all.